Dear friends, on August 15th, our Holy Mother, the Church, celebrates the solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. This solemnity is celebrated as passing of Our Lady from this earthly life to heavenly glory. We do not find any explicit mention of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the Scripture. However, we have an implicit revelation in the Scripture. In the Old Testament, if we look in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, we see the singularity of Mary as the woman was declared as a being through whom the redemption promised would become a reality. The New Testament declares the fact of that redemption and the Blessed Virgin as full of grace. Looking at the history of this solemnity, earlier in the 5th century, the Byzantine Church celebrated in her commemoration of her Dormition or falling asleep. When the Western Church adopted this feast, they replaced the word Dormition by Assumption. So the tradition of Assumption was already proclaimed as early as in the year 749 by Saint John Damascene. In 1568, Pope Pius V made this feast as a holy day for the entire church. It was Pope Pius XII on 1st November 1950 defined the dogma of the Assumption as a doctrine of faith in his encyclical Munificentissimus Deus. Christians have always held that Mary is the Mother of God. Sin had no hold over her. She was always ready to do God's will as His handmaid. Christ, the way, the truth, and life Himself said in the Gospel of John chapter 12 verses 26 we see, "Where I am, there shall my servant be also." Christ, who said this word, how can He not share His dwelling place with His mother? Church rejoices in the exaltation of the humble handmaid of the Lord. The Assumption is described as Our Lady's Easter, for we celebrate not only her passing from this life, but also her resurrection and ascension into heavenly glory, whereby she shares fully in the triumph of the risen Lord. The feast of the Assumption reminds us that Mary is in heaven, body and soul. For those afflicted with doubts and sadness and live with their eyes turned downwards, the feast of the Assumption is a call to look upwards and see that heaven is open. I wish you all a very happy feast day.